All right, today we talk about credit cards. So, not an end all be all, but some important things to know, how to remedy some things and how to make the most of it for yourself. All right, so I think one important thing to know is never, ever, ever close your credit cards. Reason being, you're closing a revolving form of credit, which, as long as you keep it good, as long as you are paying on time, as long as you are not going over your credit limit, and you're not doing crazy stuff, you have it in good standing, never ever ever close it. I will say that is one thing I am guilty of. My very first credit card, I was sick of the company. Their interest rate was crazy. I'm not gonna say who they are, but their interest rate was crazy. I was like, just close it. I'm sick of this, right? Because they were clean doing some out of pocket stuff, and I was young. I was like, you know what? Close it. You get none of my money. What I should have done instead was leave it open and pretty much never use it. Use it just enough so that I still have some utilization on it, and they don't automatically close it for inactivity, as can happen. So that's one thing to remember. Never ever close a good standing credit card, or a credit card that you got on a better foot, because the other thought behind it is a form of credit that you can have kind of indefinitely. The older your credit history, the better your credit score, right? So if you're closing a credit card that you've had open, especially if it's in good standing, is doing yourself a disservice in terms of your credit history. So keep that credit history as old as possible, you know? The other thing to keep in mind, or to try to figure out with your credit cards, is looking at the interest. So someone asked me recently, what's the best credit card for the best compound interest? The way you should be looking at credit cards is not exactly who has the best compound interest. What do you need it for? Right? Are you looking to get rewards for travel because you travel left and right, even in the midst of this pandemic? Or are you trying to get some cash back? There's not a crazy amount of money to be made, but maximize off of the money that you are using with your credit cards, right? So that's going to look a little different for everybody. I say, and it'll also depend on what your credit is looking like, what you are able to get. So I would highly suggest checking out, there's a website called Magnify Money. If I need to do like a quick search on something, who has the best rates for credit cards, checking accounts, credit unions, or your traditional banks, all of that stuff, like, they are a good resource to just kind of take a peek at, and then go research yourself, because once in a while something's not quite up to date. So, but they're pretty good with getting you a nice range of companies and organizations to benefit you financially, you know? So check out Magnify Money if you are looking for interest rates or anything else like that. The other thing is, when you are utilizing, or when you have a credit card, you should be utilizing it for your purchases. Don't use your debit card. The main reason I say this is because using your credit card versus using your debit card, whether you have a credit union or a traditional bank, you have the benefit of not having your money touched, right? And you could pay that bill at the end of the month. So you can still use it as a debit card, if you will, but you lessen the risk that you yourself have with getting your money entangled in some craziness. So say for example, you get overcharged or double charged by whomever you're purchasing something from, ordering something online or whatever it is, right? That money's coming out of your account twice. Say it's your car note for the month, right? Say it's an online order. I won't say the company, right? Say they charge you twice and you bought $300 worth of stuff, right? You were just having a good old day, right? And they charge you, instead of $300, they charge you $600. Now you are gambling with your money, because yes, banks and credit unions are insured up to, you know, certain amounts, 100,000, you know, whatever. You still have to wait for that money. You have to report it, and then you have to wait for them to investigate or go through their entire system, which is usually not quick, right? Versus if you just made your purchases through a credit card and pay that credit card off so you don't owe anybody later on, you just left your money alone, right? You took your checking account out of the equation altogether. Because when you are paying with your credit card, if something happens, if you got charged something you were not supposed to, you call them, hey, I didn't charge this. Okay, we'll take it off. Not a problem. Thanks. Or, hey, cool, we'll investigate. Or, hey, cool, but you don't worry about it. And that's not affecting your bills. It's not affecting you being able to grocery shop, you being able to pay for the gas in your car to get to your job or to get to your business. You know, you take the risk out of your personal liquid money. So I think those are my top 3 tips for credit cards right now that you should absolutely always be considering. If there are any like die-hard rules you have for credit cards as well, let me know in the comments below. Oh, how can I forget? Major one. Just had another conversation with somebody recently, and another thing is you should not be using a lot of your what they'll call credit utilization. Essentially, you shouldn't be charging a bunch of stuff on your card and leaving it there, right? So a lot of people say 20, maybe 30% of your card should be utilized at any given time, right? What that means is, say you have a limit of $1,000 on your credit card, just for simple numbers, right? And you charge $300 worth of stuff. You have 70% or $700 money free available to you to charge, right? So you're only using $300. That's just 30%. So you want to keep that amount that you're using, that 30%, as low as possible. I try to keep it around 10 or less for every card I have, really for them all together. And I rotate which cards I use, but again, that's a whole nother story. But keep your utilization down, because that will also affect your credit score and your credit report and all that good stuff. So I'll try to recap. So keep your utilization low, optimally 10% or less, but 20% is cool. 15 to 20% is cool. What's the other one? Use your credit card instead of your debit card. Get your rewards, get your cash back, and mitigate any tie-ups with your liquid money that you need right away. If you are looking for a new card and you are trying to figure out who has the best deal for you, whether that's rewards points for hotels, a particular store, flights, whatever, or just cash back, or you know, something like that, Magnify Money is a cool source. There are a plethora more online, but that's just one of my favorites. And what was the first one? I'm drawing a blank, but it's cool. you got the video so you can rewind. But yeah, those are my tips for using credit cards right now and getting the best use out of them. If you have any other tips, let us know in the comments. Send me a note, share with a friend, and that's it. I'll check y'all later. Tink. Bye. Keep